Well, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Got something a little different for you this week. We are going to make some mini journals for a craft show that I'm going to be in. And here I'm just showing you a bunch of products that I have on my desk that I gathered. Here's the actual journals. And I'm going to cover them and add some bits and pieces and doodads and make them pretty cool. So here's some frames that I had in my stash, and I had some little like jewelry pieces and embellishments. This is a cool one with a bee. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but we'll do it together and we'll see what we can create today. Here's some little wooden embellishments that I had painted black. This one says Explore. There's Dream, there's some fairies, there's Happy, there's some keys, some little buttons. I just got a whole bunch of stuff out and put it all together. This first one, I put down the collage papers and covered it with some gesso, and now I'm just going to add some of that burnt umber paint with water to make a wash to see if I could get the background to look kind of neat for this first one. And I tried to put it on the back of the journal and I didn't have any gesso on it, so it just wiped right off. So, trial and error. We'll get through it. So we'll just do the front for now. I'm putting some little paper in between the pages so that the paint doesn't go all over the inside of the journal. Here I'm using some jelly plate prints to cover the journals, and there was some fall leaves on this one I thought were really cool. Gonna put those down with some matte gel. Cover the front and stick the jelly prints on top, and I thought this would make some really neat backgrounds for the covers. This took me one whole day for sure to do these little journals, but I figured once I had all this stuff out, I should just probably keep going and cover them all, let them all dry, have some ideas about what to do for some others. And this is a piece of wallpaper that I had in my stash. I loved the green and the blues and the tan colors, and it really reminded me of like tropical water. So that's how this piece was created, with just a tropical nautical feel to it, and turned out really nice. I liked them all, of course, some more than others. And by the time I was done with 12 of them, I was a little sick of it. So I think, maybe do 5 or 6 at a time and put it away and then bring it back out. However it works for you, but 12 was kind of a lot for me. I'm just cutting off the excess paper, and of course I let this dry. And then I dug out some cool fall leaf stamps that I had in my stash, and I hadn't ever used them before. First, I wanted to put a little bit of this stencil to the background, and I'm using some fossilized amber in oxide ink, one of my favorite colors. Here I'm just going to use my Misty, and I'm going to put down my sentiment down in the right hand corner, and I'm using and that looks pretty cool on the background there. I did it both on the front and the back of this mini journal. I'm using jet black archival ink for the printing and giving it a little dry here so I don't smudge it. Gonna put a little bit of raffia, tie that around the edge there, just put it into a knot, and I'm going to dangle a metal key from the raffia. I thought that would look really cool on this journal. The fun part about all of these little journals is that you're using up all your little bits and pieces of your stash, and I feel that that's very rewarding to actually use up some things that you have lying around. I thought maybe that the background needed some black splatters, so I'm just using some heavy body black paint and some water and a little paintbrush, and I'm just adding some splatters. Being careful to do that on the other side so I don't smudge it. And we'll put that behind me to dry. Now we're going to work on the nautical one. Turned out to be quite nautical, and I'm just cutting off the excess paper there. Here I'm using a stamp set and a die to create a piece of wreath. I'm going to use this wood paper and adhere them together to make a larger piece, so I can use a wood wall per se, because I'm going to put a porthole in the wood and make it looking out into the ocean with the wreath and things of that nature. So I'm trying to open up my circle dies and had a little trouble with that. I apologize. Just figuring out my placement to cut that circle and take it to my die cutting machine. I have a big shot, and we will cut that circle out and have it be a porthole. Kind of a fun, different look on the journal. So it turned out real cute. And I'm just going to use my Distress Oxides, put some color down here for my piece of reef, and cut that out with the die. Then I'm using a Copic marker and coloring in some flat gems, and we're going to use those as the screws or bolts on the porthole. Here I'm just giving that white piece a little distress ink, just so it wasn't so stark white. Putting those flat brads on the circle for the porthole, and it turned out super cute. Took a little bit to figure out the placement, but I got it. Just go in half, go in quarters, and divide the quarters in half, and it gives it perfect placement. This one probably took me the most time to do, and you can see out why. There's a lot of detail on it. Isn't that cute? Then here is the stamp set I'm using. I'll list it below. So if you want to purchase anything, you certainly can. I have links for purchasing, and there's no added cost to you. The items come from Amazon or scrapbook.com, and the links are there for your convenience. Amazon and scrapbook.com gives me a little bit of commission, a percentage of the sale, and that just supports my channel. Just popping up the wood panel here with some foam tape, and I was just using some adhesive backed kind. It works real nice. Peel that off, make sure that it's not showing through, and putting down that reef product. I thought that was real cute there. Cutting off the edges so nothing's sticking out. And like I said, this one took me a little while, but it was definitely worth it. It's really cute. There, that looks much better. Put some of that wreath on the back. Reef? It's hard for me to say. And I'm just adhering it down. Also, I had a little shell that was already cut out, so I'm cutting off the excess. I'm also going to pop up the porthole piece, and those white ones were way too thick for the porthole, so I did them with some thinner ones, and they just happened to be black and a little bit too big, so I had to cut them down. But whatever works, right? Cut them all down and adhered them to the back, and we will put that porthole on the top. Look how cute. And then add my sentiment, and in hindsight, I did color these fish with Copic markers, and with the sentiment, I did crinkle it up, add more distress ink, and kind of rip the edges so it looked like an old message out of a bottle. And on the back, I did do a little message in a bottle. So you'll see that in the pictures after the video. Wasn't sure I was going to use all of the fish, but I figured since I had my markers out, I would just quick color them in, and I did use them all. I put a little distress ink around the edges so it wasn't so bright white. I put one fish on the front, and I put 3 fish on the back. Here's an up-close picture of that. And I did use a white gel pen to add some little highlights. And there's the one with the key, all dry, looks cool. And then here are some close-ups of the other ones. Travel, this one has a bee and some gears. This one just had some writing on it. This one is a fairy. Another fall one with fall leaves. Another just kind of simple one. This one had a tree, and of course the 2 that I did on video, and then one that says time is the key. I hope you liked this video. Leave comments below, and we will talk to you again next week. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to subscribe if you can, and share it with a friend. Maybe they'll like to stop by and create with us next week. Have a great week. Thank you.